Hello everyone. I want to welcome everyone to this space. Welcome to my thoughts. I want to talk about today meditations on character. And love you ladies and everything, but this one's this one's out to my young men and my young men in training. I can't help a woman to become a woman, but I've walked this earth for close to half a century now, and I've seen young men wise beyond their years. I've seen old men still behaving like young men. This one's going out to young men and how to carry yourself and how to be as a young man. Like I said, meditations on character, and I'm reading this book. It's called Modern Bushido: The Way of the Modern Warrior. It's just talking how to be men of old, how they carry themselves. Great men of old, not just men of old, but great men of old. How they walked, how they patterned their lives, how they lived their lives to become the best version of yourself. And that's ultimately, this is about how to become the best version of yourself. Strive to perfection, but it's a goal that's ever elusive. So I'm gonna jump right in here. What is character? Character is the pattern of behavior in an individual. And it's something that it's never over. It's a work in progress. The first thing I want to say, a young man, go out there, go have experiences. Go have experience. You don't know what to do. You don't always know the answers. You haven't lived life. Go live life. Get away from the comforts. Get out of your mom's basement. Get out of your comfort zones. Get away from your group. Be comfortable being alone. Be comfortable making your own decisions. I mean, and that's how you don't be so afraid of failure. Failure is just learning ways to not do things. Have your mentors, have your people around you, your support group, but venture out, leave the nest, get away from your comfortable life that you built for yourself, and go out into the world. There's a Pink Floyd song from the Dark Side of the Moon. It's called, one of the words in the song says, "All you touch and all you see is all your life will ever be." That really that's some deep words right there. That made me think. Just like all you touch, all you see is all your life will ever be. So go have experiences, all I can say. As a young man, your 20s, your early 30s, you don't have life figured out. You don't know how to deal with people. You don't know a drop in the bucket to what this world can be. But go have experience. I would say a man about in his 40s, starting in his 40s, into his mid 40s, that's when you start beginning to hit the stride of your life. You're hitting your financial independence. You know what you want. Go have experience. Don't be so worried about messing up. I mean, that's what life's about. Mess up. You can't mess it up bad enough that it can't be fixed. If you're scared, we live in the age of information right now. If you don't know what to do, I can find somebody, get connected with somebody. There's support groups. There's all kinds of. We live in the age of information. All kinds of books and information available at your fingertips, just to help navigate you on your way. Even like the ancient schools, these old ancient mystery schools, before you even got accepted, before you even set foot into these temples, what did it say? Know thyself. That was one of the requirements for getting in. Know yourself. Hey, so this school wasn't like a bunch of 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds getting in. No, these were middle-aged men getting in there. Because it takes time to get to know yourself. Know what you're good at. Know what you want in life. Know yourself. Once you know yourself, then you can set a goal of how you want to live your life. What do you want to pursue in your life? That's not about be comfortable or being comfortable leads to inertia. Being comfortable leads to a state of static, of not doing anything. It's through the suffering, through the toil, through the striving, that is the catalyst for movement and growth. It's through suffering that makes you want to be, when things are not good, what instead of coming, what is somebody going to do for me? What are you going to do? You're the change. You be the change. And I want to. This book. This is a pretty cool book. It just talks about behavior and behavior patterns. Is what this book is. But the first one is on character. I want to read a couple. These are great men, generals of armies. Marcus Aurelius, great authors, right? Henry Ward Beecher, Confucius, Epictetus, philosopher from Greece. These are just some of the words that, just things to think about. So this is one of the Henry Ward Beecher. Hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anyone else expects of you. Never excuse yourself. I mean, that's a hard thing to live by. Hold yourself to a higher standard than anyone expects of you. And I would say, when you're a child or even a teenager, or you're in a school or an institution or even in the military, you have somebody holding you, somebody else is holding you accountable for a certain way of being. But when no one else is around, when you're alone, it's holding yourself to a standard. What are you holding yourself to? It's easy to fit into a mold that somebody made for you, but are you capable of you creating a mold and you living to a standard that you create for yourself? And that's where it gets really difficult. Confucius said this: if an urn lacks the characteristics of an urn, how could we call it an urn? So if you're calling yourself a good man, or you call yourself successful, but then you look around and nothing in your life is representing what you're calling it, and so there. This is Montaigne. To compose our character is our duty. No one else's duty. It's our duty. It's my duty to compose my character. As a woman, women have the opportunity to someone to come along to take care of them, to support them, to provide for them. They have the opportunity to take care of themselves in the society that's built, but they also have the opportunity to tap out and for someone to take care of them if they want. Men, we don't necessarily have that opportunity. No one's gonna, once I realized in my life that no one's coming to save me, no one's coming to my rescue, no one gives a shit about my struggles, my suffering. Just get over it. If you're whining and you cry about it, and you're a sissy or you're a weak person, for a man to be emotional and cry and wait for someone to come and save him, it's frowned upon. And that's not necessarily right, but that's just the way it is. We're the ones who are supposed to provide and protect and be there and be strong and all these things. And people, we need to be more emotionally intelligent, which is true, but when we reach out and we lean on people's shoulders and we cry to our spouses or be vulnerable with our emotions, ain't no one's ready to bear that burden. No one's ready to deal with it. You're looked upon as a weak person. And doesn't mean that's necessarily right, but that just seems to be the way it is. Epictetus: it's no easy thing for a principle to become a man's own unless each day he maintains it and works it out in his life. So you think the common thread that's in all these, it's your duty to work out the problems in your life. And that's, when you look at the beginning, like between gods and men, God took chaos of the universe, organized the chaos of the universe, made it into a habitable place. So that shows a level of mastery, when you can take chaos, organize it, and turn it into something useful. And the measure of a man is how much chaos can I manage in my life. And that shows a level of mastery. Can I level the chaos of myself, my own relationships, my own words, my own dealings with my own job? Can I, the chaos of a household, the chaos of a neighborhood, the chaos of a city, the chaos of a country? What level of mastery do I have? We all complain about the presidents and the leaders, but they're trying to run a country. They're trying to run a city. They're trying to run the infrastructure of a nation. I mean, they fail. They all fail. I'm not trying to say good or bad, but it shows a level of mastery of how much chaos am I willing to take upon myself. Rather than complain somebody's not doing a good job, what am I doing to help out with this problem? And when that goes to character first, but it all starts with myself. Once I'm under control, then I can branch out. Once my cup is full, then it can start to run over into other things. Matsuo Basho, do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the men of old. Seek what they sought. I'm not trying to follow in their footsteps. What were they searching? What were they striving after? What were they looking for? Who were their teachers? Seek that. And this one I like the best. This is one of my favorite ones. Romain Rolland. Every man who is truly a man must learn to be alone in the midst of all others, and if need be, against all others. To me, that's a true test of character. Sometimes you're going to have to be willing to be alone in the middle of everyone else, and sometimes willing to be alone against everyone else. That means you're a man of integrity. You know who you are, and you're not going to be shaken, because if you stand for nothing, then you'll fall for anything. It's somebody without a family, without a home, without anything. That's the most easy person to influence and to convince, because you have nothing you're fighting for. You have no reason to be or fight for anything. So as a young man, when do you start this progress? You start this progress as a young man. You start this process as a young man, your early teens, 20s, 30s. Go have experiences, go out, try different jobs, see what you like. But spend 10 years. Don't do, I did it a couple weeks, I didn't like it. No, take 10 years at a company, work your way up, see what it's like, trade it out, go start something different. There's plenty of time. By the time you're in your late 30s, to the time you get to your 40s, you've worked your way up from the bottom. You know what you're capable of. You know what you are. You're beginning to hit your financial stride. Then you can command respect in this world, because you have a measure of yourself. And something else is something to keep in mind. I mean, we're like a big ocean cruiser. And you think about what's keeping that cruise liner safe. Is it being parked in the harbor where there's no winds and no waves and nothing? Is that what's keeping the ship safe? The ship will be safe there, but what's keeping that ship safe? What's keeping that ship safe is the way that it was built. It's built to be out there in the high seas and the wind and the storms and all manner of things that life will throw at us. We are built to withstand. We're resilient. We're tough. That's the way we're made. We're made to compartmentalize. Our brains are made to, okay, I'm super stressed in this area. I'm shutting that off. Right now I got to deal with this. And compartmentalize our emotions. Take this emotion, shut it down, deal with this at hand. Right now I got to deal with this, shut this off, deal with this. And once this is done, okay, now we can turn to this. That's the way our minds are. We put everything in boxes, compartmentalized. We deal with things and the priority that they come up. We're made this way. It's not flawed. It's not broken. I hate that saying, masculine toxicity or whatever, toxic masculinity, whatever. I hate that saying. There's just toxic people, because I never learned the way to be. It's because it's somebody who has not learned how to master themselves. And I think one of our big duties is learning to master our emotions. And this goes to one of the greatest emperors of Rome, which was at one time the greatest nation on earth. Let them know a real man who lives as he was meant to live, which means responsible. That doesn't mean you just do whatever you want, but knowing that you're not afraid, you're not living by the leave of someone else. You are living to your own. You're living to your own expectations. You're living to your own character. You're living your life of integrity. You're doing what's right because you said it's right. You're doing what's right because it's not the easiest thing to do. You're not doing it because it's easy. You're not doing it because it's the most profitable. You're doing what's right because it's right. And doing what's right should be the first and foremost in your life. And if you live your life that way, I'm not saying life's going to be easy, but it's not about, no one ever said life's going to be easy. That's another misconception. We think everything's going to be easy. When it's not easy, I'm failing. No, it's not easy because people want to take the easy path. No, take the hard path and make it easy. Make it easy. You learn what's right and you forge the path. You blaze the trail. This country was not, you take a country, this was a wild, uncivilized land with people, no rules, just untamed land. And we came over here. I'm not saying what we did was right, But we came over here, staked a claim, made a civilization, branched out, got away from our hardships wherever we were, came over here and forged a new path. These were not like weak men. These are brave people, and they did it. They didn't ask permission. They just did it, and they took it, and we're making amendments as we go. Now we're trying to bring softness. Now we're trying to bring a little bit more of an etiquette, a little bit more kindness, because there was a lot of bad things that were done as well. But now we're to bring kindness and softness and bring a little bit more, I would say we're in a conscious awakening right now, to bring more consciousness and to bring the more, I would say bring a more understanding and empathy towards actions, and we're headed in that direction, but we still have a long way to go. It's nothing that's ever going to be finished, but it's a pathway to set upon. I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to go super long with this. The superior man is watchful over himself even when he is alone. This is from Chung Yun. So I'll leave with this. Go have experiences. Don't be so worried about failing. Don't worry about your success. Go learn yourself. Go live life a little bit. Go live life for a little bit, and always turn it inside. Always refer to the greater men of old. And now I'm gonna have a nice day. Have a beautiful. Hope everyone's getting out, enjoying the beautiful weather. Take care of someone next to you. Tell someone next to you that you love them, you care about them, and go live life. And know yourself. Go learn yourself. Know yourself. Know what you're good at. Know what you're weak at, and always try to be the best version of yourself. Thank you. Bye.